Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. I'm once again back with you to look at the weekend's racing on Saturday, where we have some terrific action in Britain, in Ireland, and of course in the United States as well. In the US, the Breeders' Cup. If you are new to this channel, by the way, just press the subscribe button below this screen, and then you'll be able to receive all my free selections, and you can consider them and decide whether or not you agree with me that they have some sort of a chance. They're always going to be decent each way prices. I am not one of these tipsters that starts sending you messages that I've got one that's going to be a terrific winner, and then you find out it's a 4 to 6 chance. That's not going to happen with me. And as we had last week, I put up two horses at big prices. One of them did really well for us. That was Arabian Desert, who was second at 20 to 1. And even in the 7 runner race, betting each way, quarter the odds, that's a really nice, tidy profit. He was well backed as well, down to shorter than that, but 20 to 1 was freely available when I nominated the horse. And I hope you were on. That was in the Horace Hill Stakes at Newbury. He ran an absolutely blinding race. He was the only one to give the Godolphin horse a run for his money. The other horse, Titian, up at Doncaster, he ran okay, but he didn't quite manage to get involved and give us the shout that I would have liked. Now, I've got two selections this Saturday for you. Um, and one of them is going to be at Ascot. This is the 1st of November, of course, in the afternoon. The other one is going to be late at night for you night owls, and that's going to be in the Breeders' Cup Mile at Del Mar, which I'm sure most of us are going to try and tune in to see at least some of the action. Now, of course, as well as those two free selections, we've been having plenty of fun over at my Out in Front channel, which is a subscription channel for a very modest fee. So if you're interested in joining us to sign up, then you're more than welcome to do so, and you can find out exactly how to do that via the link in the description box just below this screen. And I've already put up four for Saturday, all at nice each way prices. There'll also be something as well on there for Sunday as well. Now then, let's go to the two selections I've got for you free here at Sportsbet today. First of them, at Ascot Saturday, the 3:10, it's the 2 mile Lavazza handicap hurdle. The going is good, and there are 12 runners, and Alexei, trained by Joe Tizard, is the clear early 7 to 2 market leader on the back of his good second on his reappearance last month in the Welsh Champion handicap hurdle, which is rather grandly named, at Chepstow. It's a good handicap, though. He kept on well to chase home Celtic Dino and has been left on the same mark, so returning to a right-handed track might help him too, as both his previous wins have been at right-handed Taunton. That's Alexei. Now, Washington, trained by Harry Durham, who's a real up-and-coming trainer, beat Move It Like Mini for the new training combination of Nigel and Willie Twiston Davis's son. He beat him by just under 3 lengths in a Chepstow 2 mile handicap hurdle almost 3 weeks ago. And with the runner-up getting a £4 pull in the weights, there might be very little between the pair this time. Washington, however, does seem to have more of a winning habit than Move It Like Mini, so I would take him to come out on top in their private battle, although whether either of them is good enough to win this is open to question. Now, with Emma Lavell's yard in cracking form, remember that big winner Marshantu at Cheltenham last weekend, who was very well backed, the stable's Indemnity arrived seeking to complete a four-timer after two wins at the ends of last season, and then a winning return at Market Raisin in Lincolnshire a few weeks ago. A further £6 rise is going to make life tougher, and he takes on his stiffest task to date as he attempts another step up the handicap hurdle ladder. But I wouldn't rule out a bold show from Indemnity, an improving 5-year-old who is handily weighted with 10 stone, 12 pounds on his back. Now, another trainer in great form is Anthony Honeyball, who, at the time of this recording, has won with 4 of his last 7 runners. So it would be unwise to rule out a bold show from his Dance and Glance, who finished a creditable fifth when favourite for the Swinton Hurdle at Haydock in May, and ran a race full of promise when runner-up at Newton Abbot 2 weeks ago on his first start of this season. He should strip fitter for that, and I would suggest that Dance and Glance is going to be a serious contender. Now, the 14 times champion trainer Paul Nicholls runs two in the race for the same owner, Affadil and Fasol. Affordil is ridden by the rising star jockey Freddie Gingell and has had a breathing op since pulling up in the Sussex Champion Hurdle at Plumpton in April. That was on his final start last season. On his very good third in the Imperial Cup at Sandown last March, he would have every chance here, but in recent seasons he has needed a run or two to reach his peak, so on his seasonal return I think he might be worth opposing. So my selection, well, Fasol is the other runner for Paul Nicholls, and Freddie Keithley is the man on board, and he is just preferred. He was well backed and sent off favourite first time out last season, eventually finishing fourth of 15 in a hot Cheltenham handicap hurdle at the November meeting. And then he finished runner up at Sandown and Ascot before eventually getting his head in front in a moderate maiden hurdle at Taunton in March. It was just a confidence boost to him. Two starts after that, he ran a fine third to the very talented Give It To Me OJ in the novices handicap hurdle final at Sandown in late April, his final run of the term, the form of which has already been boosted by Give It To Me OJ this season. Now, returning from a 5.5 month break, the 6-year-old shaped as though he would really improve for the run when he was a good fifth and only beaten 4.5 lengths in a really decent Chepstow novices hurdle a few weeks ago. And I think he should now be absolutely spot on for this, especially with the very promising young rider Freddie Keithley, the son of the trainer Martin Keithley, claiming £7, which takes the horse's weight down to just 10 stone. So that really is a very low weight these days. I think 9 to 1 each way for 4 places with Bet365, Bet Victor, and Boyle Sports at the time of this recording is a sporting wager for Faisal to land the spoils for the Paul Nicholls stable. So that's my suggestion for you Saturday afternoon. Now, of course, the racing in Britain will be concluded, and then we're going to settle in for the Breeders' Cup. Now, it's run over on the west coast of the United States, so the times are pretty late. And by the time they get around to the Breeders' Cup mile, it's going to be 11 in the UK. So hopefully, some of you will have the stamina and a bit of Red Bull or whatever to keep yourselves. There are other brands available to keep yourselves awake in order to watch the Breeders' Cup. Well, I don't tend to often get involved in the Breeders' Cup races from a betting point of view because, of course, our horses are going over at the end of a very long season and very often having been slogging through the mud for the last few months here before going to the US and encountering normally very quick ground as it is on Saturday. But, of course, this year we've had an unusually dry autumn and the horses, and many of them have been holding their form. And so I think it's worth taking a chance. And this is the race that caught my eye. The 11:05 Del Mar, the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Mile, a race with a wonderful history. No race more exciting, I think, in the history of the Breeders' Cup, maybe with the exception of Zenyatta, um, than Lester Piggott winning on Royal Academy for Vincent O'Brien way back when, well, having only just come out of the Chokey. So, um, a terrific race with a wonderful history. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the race, but clearly the horse to beat is the 2024 2000 Guineas and Sussex Stakes winner Notable Speech for Godolphin, trained by Charlie Appleby and ridden by William Buick. And he bounced back to form in Canada last time when he easily landed the Grade 1 Woodbine Mile. Now, this is much tougher, undoubtedly, but Notable Speech showed himself to be back in tip-top shape and able to handle the North American tracks and the fast ground. So, being well drawn in stall 2, Notable Speech is not going to be easy to beat. The quirky horse, Lion in Winter, the Lion in Winter for Aidan O'Brien, find only Cicero's Gift too good for him in the QE2 Stakes at Ascot a fortnight ago. That was an excellent run, but it was a strange race, wasn't it? With the 100 to 1 shot coming up the far rail and stunning everybody on easy ground. This is a very different challenge. Um, even allowing for Aidan O'Brien's remarkable Breeders' Cup record, I think going into Saturday, he's the joint winning most trainer of all time in the US, and it's quite likely that he's going to have a winner somewhere over the 2 days to become the greatest living trainer of winners at the Breeders' Cup. But I think that he's got a job on his hands with the Lion in Winter to win the Breeders' Cup mile. Now, the Jamonti pair of John Quill for Andrew Balding and Kirat for Rafe Beckett. Remember Kirat, the 150 to 1 shock winner of the Sussex Stakes. They've both got something to find. Kirat really up against it from the widest stall out in the car park in stall 14. John Kill is drawn in stall 10. John Kill has also had a sighter in the United States when a close fourth in a Grade 1 at Keeneland recently, behind probably the leading home contender for the US, Rhetorical, trained by Will Walden, who takes him on again and is one of the main hopes of the home team. But for my selection, well, it has been a long time, I think it's 7 years or so, since France has had a winner at the Breeders' Cup. But they have a real big chance here, this time with Salan for Francis-Henri Graffard and Mikhail Barcelona. Now, I'm sure you already know, if you follow racing, the stable has been in blistering form all year. And in recent weeks, they've won the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe with the wonderful Dariz, who just got the better of Mini Hawk, who runs earlier on in the evening in America. And they also, of course, won the Champion Stakes with the high-class Calandagan, putting in a real tour de force down at Ascot a few weeks ago. This horse, Salan, has been improving throughout the season, and after winning a Group 3 at Deauville in August, he got the better of the very smart but very unlucky Rosalian in the Group 1 Prix de Moulin at Longshot in September. Rosalian has subsequently retired. Now that really is very good form, and assuming that Salan handles the fast ground, he hasn't run on it before, but connections must think he'll handle it to send him all the way from France to the west coast of America. I think he's going to go really well, and he's beautifully drawn in stall 3 right next to Notable Speech. I think he's going to run a really big race, and I'm hoping that he's pretty much a bet to nothing each way. He's 6 to 1 each way best odds at the time of withdrawal with William Hill. So Salon is my choice for France in the Breeders' Cup Mile at 11:05 at Del Mar, to go with Faisal, a 9 to 1 shot each way earlier in the day at Ascot over the sticks in the 3:10. Those are my two free selections at Sportsbet. Remember, there's plenty more of my advice and analysis at Out in Front. And if you want to take part, then you're more than welcome to click on the link in the description box below this screen. You can sign up for a monthly membership or just pay as you go each day that you think you might be interested in having a bet. But for now, from me, Paul Alster, I'm going to wish you the very best of luck, whatever you're backing. And I'll speak to you the same time next week. Bye bye for now.